welcome into the Week 11 recap. We won't be doing much recapping today, but I did want to get into one game. Last night, Milk Silos pulled off an incredible, improbable win over Chad's Personal Shopvac. Milk Silos had the Houston Texans defense and like a 10 or so point cushion. And Chad's Personal Shopvac had Nico Collins, Rico Dowdle, and Kaimi Fairbairn. At one point had a 98% chance to win the game. This was like mid-third quarter, 98% chance. And then the players on Chad's Personal Shopvac got basically no more production after that point. And improbably, the Texans defense strip sack Cooper Rush. One of the offensive linemen on Dallas picked up the ball. They force fumbled the ball from the offensive lineman, scooped the ball up, and ran it 30 yards to the end zone. That put Milk Silos ahead, and then that also put the Texans so far ahead that all they did was run the ball, so they didn't throw it to Nico Collins anymore. And the Cowboys basically took out all of their starters, so Rico Dowdle didn't get another touch. One of the more improbable wins in recent memory, and a massive, massive win, or loss, I should say, for Chad's Personal Shopvac in terms of the playoff scenarios. So, we will get into that. I would advise you that if you're listening to this with your phone in your pocket, or if you're in your car, I would advise you pause and listen at a later time, because we do have video for today that you can watch the playoff scenarios unfold. So, we have all the playoff scenarios here. As you can see, at the top, we have the 5 games this week, and each cell indicates the winner of that game in that scenario. And if you go across the row, that would be the set of winners. So if that set of winners happens, then this will be the seeding for that set of winners. Remember that 1 seed plays 2 seed for the right to choose your opponent in the semifinals. The 3 seed doesn't play in week 13, but they are directly into the semifinals. 4 versus 5 will be the play-in playoff game. So that you are in the playoffs, but you have to play the week 13 play-in game. 6 versus 7, you are not in the playoffs. You have a week 13 game and a semifinals game and a finals game to win yourself out of last place. So if you win just one of those 3 games, you're out of last place. And then 8, 9, and 10 seeds only get the 2 chances to win themselves out of last place. They only get the semifinals and the finals. So 6 and 7 seeds get 3 chances to win themselves out of last place. 8, 9, and 10 only get 2 chances to win themselves out of last place. 1 and 2 play to choose opponent. 3 is in the semifinals. And 4v5 is week 13 to play into the semifinals. So, with that, let's get into our complicated scenarios. First off, Hit It and Grit It has already clinched the 10 seed. In all scenarios, Hit It and Grit It is alone the 10 seed. Packer Full has already clinched the semifinals. It looks like they've already clinched the 1 seed here, but there are 1 seed ties for Packer Full. But they already have clinched the semifinals. They will not be playing in the 4v5 game. Packer Full will clinch the 1v2 game with a win. So a win will clinch the 1v2 game. They'll have the 1 seed with a win. Or Tevitz Tallywhackers wins. So if Tevitz Tallywhackers wins, they are in the 1v2 game because they're either 1 or 2 seed. And then if Two Stokes Undone beats Tevitz Tallywhackers, then there'll be a 3-way tie for the 1 seed. And Packer Full would get into the 1v2 game by beating Show Them TDs with 4 or more teams between them. So they need to score more points than Show Them TDs and put 4 or more teams between them in that scenario. And the same here goes for with Top G. So Packer Full would need to do that with Top G, depending on the winner of the Show Them TDs versus Top G game. All right, we'll move into Two Stokes I'm Done. So Two Stokes I'm Done will clinch the semifinals with a win. If they win, they are automatically into the semifinals. Or if Two Stokes I'm Done loses, they would need to score more points than the loser of the Top G versus Show Them TDs game. So the loser would then be tied with Two Stokes I'm Done with the 3 seed. And then Two Stokes I'm Done would just need to beat them on points to win the tiebreaker on wins versus all. Remember, wins versus all is the first tiebreaker. That scenario is also in play for the 1v2 game for Two Stokes I'm Done. So Two Stokes I'm Done can clinch the 1v2 game if they win. And then if Packer Full also wins, if Trump Secret Service also wins, that's what I meant, then they'd be in a 3-way tie for first, and they would just need to score more points this time than the winner of the Show Them TDs versus Top G game. So if they win, Two Stokes I'm Done wins, and Trump Secret Service wins, then Two Stokes I'm Done would need to score more points than the winner of the Show Them TDs versus Top G game to get into the 1v2 game. They'd already be in the playoffs because they won, but they just need to do that for the 1v2 game. All right, Show Them TDs clinches the semifinal with a win. So Show Them TDs wins all here. They would automatically be into the semifinals in that scenario. Or Show Them TDs would lose here. They would need TVIT's Tallywhackers to win. And then they already lost to Top G. But they would need Two Stokes I'm Done to have already lost to TVIT's Tallywhackers. And then Show Them TDs would need to beat Two Stokes I'm Done in terms of points. Or they can still lose if there's only 1 or less teams between them. And then Show Them TDs would get that 3 seed, and Two Stokes I'm Done would be off to the 4v5 game. And then Show Them TDs misses the semifinals directly and clinches the 4 seed with a loss and a Two Stokes I'm Done win. And that would put them in the 4v5 game. On to Top G. A few more scenarios here. So Top G will clinch the semifinals with a win. All they need to do is win. They're in the semifinals. Or, if they lose, Top G loses in these scenarios here. They would need TVIT's Tallywhackers to win here and here. And then Top G would need to score more points than Two Stokes I'm Done. And easy, they would be the 3 seed then. And then in any other scenario, other than that, Top G would get the 4 seed here and here. So basically with a loss and a Two Stokes I'm Done win, Top G would be the 4 seed. Top G can also clinch the 1v2 game and not be in that 3 seed spot with a win and TVIT Tallywhackers win. So that would be here. automatically into the 1v2 game. Or if they win, Trump's Secret Service wins, and Two Stokes I'm Done wins. In this scenario here, they would just need to let Packer Full beat them with 5 or less teams between them, which is pretty good chance for Top G there. So that's for the 1v2 game. All right, the fun ones now. Slower Ponies will clinch the playoffs. My bad, doing something weird. All right, Slower Ponies will clinch the playoffs with a win. So a win will automatically get Slower Ponies the 5 seed. Or if Slower Ponies loses, then they would need Hit It and Grit It to win. And they would need T-Vits Tallywhackers to win. And they would need to score more points than T-Vits Tallywhackers. So there would be like a game within a game there for the playoffs. In the scenario where Two Stokes I'm Done wins, they could also have Trump's Secret Service win. And in that scenario, they would need to not let Trump's Secret Service beat them by 5 or more teams between them. So that would be a long shot scenario, but it's there. And then if Packer Full wins and Two Stokes I'm Done wins, then Slower Ponies is also in the playoffs. All right. Let's go to the big one, the one that tanked the playoff hopes last night, Chad's personal shot back. So that's a very, very easy scenario for Chad's personal shot back. They got to win, beat Hit It and Grit It, and Milk Silos needs to beat Slower Ponies. In that scenario only, Chad's personal shot back makes the playoffs. No fluff, no nothing. Just those 2 games matter for Chad's personal shot back. Chad's personal shot back has a range of outcomes, though. They can also go directly, even though they still can make the playoffs, they can also go directly to the last place playoffs, last place semifinals. And in that case, they would need a loss. So Hit It and Grit It wins. And Milk Silos wins. Or sorry, my bad. Reading a different one. Sorry, and T-Vits Tallywhackers wins. And Trump's Secret Service wins. So in the case where Hit It and Grit It, Trump's Secret Service, and T-Vits Tallywhackers all win, Chad's personal shot back is directly into the last place semifinals. They don't even get that extra shot at keeping themselves out of last place. They'll only get 2. So that's a big swing for Chad's personal shot back there, all made mostly from last night's game. All right, T-Vits Tallywhackers still has a chance at the playoffs. They would need a win. T-Vits Tallywhackers win. And they need Milk Silos to win. So Milk Silos win there. And Hit It and Grit It to win. Hit It and Grit It win there. And then in that case, they are still tied for the 5 seed with Slower Ponies. And then in that case, they would just need to score more points than Slower Ponies. So Tevitt Tallywhackers win, Milk Silos win, Hit It and Grit It win, and Tevitt Tallywhackers scores more points than Slower Ponies, and Tevitt's Tallywhackers is the 5 seed and in the playoffs. And that is the only scenario that they have to get in. There is also the scenario for Tevitt's Tallywhackers that they go directly to the last placed semifinals, and that would be if they lose. So Tevitt's Tallywhackers loses to Two Stokes I'm Done, and Trump Secret Service beats Packer Full. And in that case, Tevitt's Tallywhackers would get the 8 seed, and they would be directly into the last place semifinals. Trump Secret Service, with the Milk Silos win yesterday, Trump Secret Service still has a very, very slim shot at the playoffs, but it is there. So Trump Secret Service would need to clinch the playoffs. First of all, to win, they need to beat Packer Full. And they would need Milk Silos to beat Slower Ponies. And they would need Two Stokes Undone to beat Tevitt's Tallywhackers. And they would need Hit It and Grit It to beat Chad's Personal Shopback. So 4 of the 5 games, they would need specific scenarios. They would need Two Stokes Undone, their own team to win, Milk Silos, and Hit It and Grit It. And in that case, they would be tied with Slower Ponies with the 5 seed. And they would need to beat Slower Ponies' score by putting 5 or more teams between them, which will be a little bit easier because in this scenario, Two Stokes Undone has already won their game, and Slower Ponies has already lost their game. So there would be 2 teams already between them, assuming that Packer Full scored more points than Slower Ponies, and Trump Secret Service scored more points than Milk Silos. That would already be 2 of them. But they would need to put 3 more teams between the score of Trump Secret Service this week and Slower Ponies this week. 5 total teams between them or more. So Trump Secret Service would basically need to be the highest scorer and Slower Ponies be the 6th highest. Or Trump Secret Service be 2nd highest and Slower Ponies be the 7th highest. 5 or more teams between them this week in that specific scenario would get Trump Secret Service into the playoffs. A very, very slim shot, but it is there. Trump Secret Service can also go directly to the last place semifinals without skipping the 6v7 game there. In that scenario, they would need to lose. So Packer Full beats Trump Secret Service. In that case, they're directly into the last place semifinals if they lose. Or, if they were to win, Tevitt's Tallywhackers beating Two Stokes Undone, and Chad's Personal Shopback beating Hit It and Grit It would also put them into the last place semis, even if they win. So those are the 2 scenarios there. And then we have one more absolute long shot scenario here. For Milk Silos to get themselves an extra shot to stay out of the last place game, to be the 7th seed, they would need to, first of all, win, and they would need Packer Full to beat Trump Secret Service, and they would need Two Stokes Undone to beat Tevitt's Tallywhackers, and then they would be tied with Tevitt's Tallywhackers for the 7th seed. They would need to beat Tevitt's Tallywhackers this week and put 6 or more teams between them. So Milk Silos would need to be like the top scorer and Tevitt's Tallywhackers be the 7th highest score or lower, or 2-8, or 3-9 or 4-10. 6 or more teams between them. And that would get Milk Silos into the 6v7 game, give themselves an extra shot to stay out of last place. That would be an absolute long shot scenario. But those last two were pretty long shot anyways. But that does it for the playoff scenarios recap. Let me know if anyone has any questions about the playoff scenarios. I can answer all of them. I have them all here, easily sortable, and the tiebreaker notes. So I can get you your answers to playoff questions, and I'll be updating playoff scenarios based on like what games are already in the bag on Sunday. So we know what's going up with that. But thanks for listening and thanks for watching this longer form recap. This will definitely be the longest one of the season with the playoff scenarios. But we will see you after the regular season ends in week 12. The trade deadline is this Thursday night kickoff, so be wary of that. And we will see you when we know the playoff seeding.